Welcome from Las Vegas, Nevada. I wish I could have a really cool background with the strip and everything, but this is my little studio here in my home. I'm flying back on Wednesday, though. I've been here since Wednesday, and I spent the entire weekend in Los Angeles, where I drove to for this little unofficial electric car YouTuber event. And I will tell you about it in just a second. Meanwhile, I already see a lot of cool people in my chat room. Definitely say hi. Let me know where you're watching from. If you recently bought an electric car or you're buying an electric car in the next couple of months, I would love to hear about that. Of course, I will take your questions, premium members, and super chats as always in priority. And we are going to hang out for a little bit. As you guys know, I don't really repost these, so this is just kind of for all of us to hang out live. And we're going to start right now. Welcome to E4 Electric. Of course, don't forget to click on the subscribe button, but I'm pretty sure all of you already have, because this is pretty much for subscribers. But if you haven't clicked on the like button, I would strongly suggest and appreciate. You can also click on the dislike button. Actually, that does exactly the same thing. If you ask me, the way YouTube algorithm works, they just care about the engagement. So either way, I know a lot of times, like before I even post the video, go live, there will be people clicking, screw this guy, dislike. Actually, they're helping out. So I always appreciate that. So let's talk about a few things. This week wasn't really that great of the exciting week. By the way, I see a lot of regulars, Master Mason 32, Shashi. Let's see. I wonder if Patrick and Liv are going to be here, because I, once again, met them in person at that little hangout. And, Master Mason has already just gotten everybody started with a $5 super chat. Thank you so much. He says, hey, glad to see this again, Florida here. And I did pre-order a Cybertruck a couple of years ago. We all have, I think, right? I think I pre-ordered mine within like first 30 minutes. So I should be somewhere in the first 100,000, right? So I'm wondering how many people actually going to end up converting. I'm also wondering how many people would actually want to buy it just because it looks like, they just announced there's going to be a quad motor version that's going to be coming out first. And honestly, that's probably going to be at least an $80,000 vehicle. And I think a lot of people who put down their $100, that was for the $40,000 version. But Tesla wouldn't be Tesla if they didn't do the switcheroonie. But so I don't know. Like, let me know if you would buy it for $80,000, because for $80,000, obviously you can either get a fully loaded F-150. I'm pretty sure fully loaded Silverado, almost a Hummer EV by then, and because a Hummer EV will go down in price, right? And what else? I'm obviously missing Rivian. Oh, so let's talk about. So here's a question already. But anyway, thank you so much for $5. As you guys probably know, that will go to my Chipotle budget, to which I'm actually handing out right after this. After that, I have a potential sponsor meeting and bunch of other things. I want to also make this last day in Vegas count. I will be back here in Vegas on the 20th and stay here through CES. So it should be a few weeks. I might be going to Turkey for about 5 or 6 days. So this might be the first time I don't produce a video in a while, because I will be, there. Let's see. Oh, another super chat. Oh, we missed it. Another super chat from a Master Mason 32. And this time for another $5, which is pretty much my budget for my chicken bowl and my fresca. He says the 4 motor is a replacement for the 3 motor, and it's the same price. There is no 3 motor, just 1, 2, and 4, and the 4 is the $69,000. You might be ahead of me. Is this something that they already posted on their website? Because last time I checked was a couple of days ago after Elon tweeted that, and that did not have any information at all. So as a matter of fact, you know what? Let me just go real quick. Tesla.com/Cybertruck and see if they brought back any of the options. Order now. Let's see. Yeah, I don't see. You will be able to complete your configuration as a production nears in 2022. So, I don't know if quad motor is going to be the same price. It would be weird if it would be, but still, $70,000 is going to be the only price people will be able to actually get it in 2022, probably mainly in 2023. So I'm wondering if a lot of people will decide to wait, just like they did with the Model 3, right? A lot of Model 3 reservations have not converted specifically because people were like, oh, where's the $35,000 version, right? And by the time there was a $35,000 version, people either moved on or already upgraded to something more expensive, right? Or a different EV. Roosevelt, thank you for super chat once again. And Roosevelt Watson says, "Hi from Vegas." Well, we could be around the corner from each other, so yeah, it's an interesting place. I've been living here part time since March. Not sure if I'm going to stay here or move here. We'll see. So far, it's been fun, but obviously, I'm going to stick around until CES is over. There's just so many things going on here. John Ellis chimes in and says, "Full motor is mechanically simpler." It all depends, but still, it's an extra motor that you have to have. So, I mean, it's just an extra expense and extra components and stuff like that. But uh, listen, we're just guessing here, right? You never know with Tesla. You just never know with Tesla. One of the things you can probably count on is that there will be no entry level version because that's just how they do it, right? This is how we do it. Tesla semi anyone. Are you offering? This is from, you know what? I gotta make this thing bigger because I've been trying to see the. Let's see. Oh, John Ellis. Okay, now I can read with my old eyes. Oh yeah, it's okay. Well, let me just answer all the questions and then I will tell you guys about the weekend that I had. How long Fernie Easy or Fernias? How long do you think before we see an affordable BYD vehicle in California, and will Tesla ever make a more affordable EV? You know what? Well, of course, Tesla will make a more affordable EV. I'd say 2, 3 years from now, probably realistically. I think they will release it first in China, so I'd say 3 in the US. I'm actually fascinated that people are fascinated by BYD all of a sudden. BYD has been around for a long time, and no matter how many videos I made about BYD, nobody said anything. And but there's also Xpeng Motors, there's also NIO, there are other actually Chinese brands that are actually maybe even better. I mean, BYD is pretty good, but I mean, I would take NIO probably as my most favorite, and Xpeng Motors is also very close second. I take NIO over Xpeng just if I was in China or Europe, just because they have, specifically in China, because of their battery swapping stations. So I'm excited about that. So I'm wondering why all of a sudden people caught up with BYD. Maybe it's because people have heard that they're partnering up with Tesla, but it's been in the works for a while. Master Mason 32 says his pre-order was for 3 motor. Well, then you probably are very happy to hear that they're going to have 4, especially if it's for the same price, and you might just be one of the people getting it. Relatively. It also depends where you're located, right? So. Well, somebody in the chat, let's see who is this. RV Dreams says quad motor will be 80,000 minimal. I also agree. I think 4 motor is got to be 80. By then there's hopefully there will be incentives back for Tesla, but who knows? We're just guessing here, right? Richard says, other than cost, I much prefer LA area over Vegas. Other than cost, what about the traffic? I mean, I was just there, and I was actually in Pasadena. It was such an amazing area. I would move there, except for it's super expensive. But then parts of LA that's not as expensive, as still expensive, but then there's a lot of traffic. I honestly would absolutely agree with you. I probably would take LA over Vegas. Just because there's just more. Like LA is like 10 cities, right? In one, where Vegas essentially is 2 cities, and one of them is the Strip, and that's really for tourists. I do go to the Strip almost every night just because I'm a night owl, and after midnight things are open and I can have some tea and there's live music, so I have my favorite places. But like, as far as just like besides that, I don't go to the Strip. It's too expensive for regular life, and it's too much traffic and tourists and stuff like that. So, but yeah, I agree. LA, for my taste, would be great. There's a bunch of beach towns. There's just, I mean, there's so many awesome places, but traffic and cost is, yeah. Um, People are asking about this whole Lucid thing. What about the Lucid News SEC problem? So Doug and everybody else who asked, I don't know. I have been already concerned about Lucid. Listen, I've been a huge fan of Lucid and Rivian for a long time, and well, something really, like my house just shook for a second. So I've been a supporter for a long time, and it kind of saddens me that I'm not very excited about them, and not so much about the cars, but about how they've been conducting themselves. Both companies have been pretty open until they pretty much started production, or maybe it's because they've gone public. And now you guys seen my video about Rivian, who's just basically being shady. So at this event that I'm going to tell you about in a second, this is basically where kind of unofficial bunch of electric car YouTubers getting together, and some brands coming out and bringing their cars for us to drive. Rivian was one of them. And out of, I don't know, like 15, 20 different cars that were there, Rivian was the only one that definitely couldn't drive it, but you couldn't even sit in it. I mean, that is a level of protection from YouTubers, journalists, whatever, that I have not seen before. It makes me wonder what the hell are they hiding. Now, Porsche was also the Porsche. Between you and me, Porsche PR guys are just like douches. So I don't know why you couldn't drive a Porsche, but the Rivian is concerning me. But then Lucid is also concerning me just as much. As a matter of fact, I just had an interaction with Lucid. I said, "Hey guys, can you comment on this whole? What are you doing?" And they're like, "Well, Alex, you didn't want to come to our drive event." And the reason I didn't go is, first of all, I actually had other commitments. But even if I didn't, I wasn't interested in having a 10-minute, adult supervision test drive. That wasn't going to give me anything to give to you guys. When I reached out to them last week, I've had a conversation. I said, "Guys, I'm kind of working on a story about how, well, like very similar to Rivian's, that why are you limiting media to something very controlled and not something that we can really do reviews?" And they said, "Oh no, you can have a car anytime. Just come on out. We'll set you up with a car for half a day. We'll have somebody in a car to explain everything to you, and we already picked a great route for you." And I'm like, yeah, no. How about I do my own route, and you guys don't have adult supervision, so I can actually test it. And they're like, "No, no, we can do that." And I was like, "Well, then it's not really review, is it?" So once again, I don't really know what it is that they're hiding, but it's just not I don't even want to say normal behavior, but it's definitely not a transparent behavior, and that's very unfortunate. So this SEC a problem, whatever probe does not surprise me. If they're hiding stuff from us, they could be hiding stuff from SEC. I hope everything is okay. I mean, I certainly don't think it would be good for anybody if they really did hide something. But things need to change. And there's something rotten inside Lucid and Rivian, and I hope they change it before things really get out of control. My goodness, there's so many comments I have to kind of. Okay, yeah, Rivian earnings are coming up, says Richard. We'll see about that. I mean, but at the same time, I don't really care about their earnings right now, because I mean they just started delivering, right? So I don't know about that. My computer is all laggy. So Cedric says Rivian is legit, at least compared to Nikola. The jury's still out there with regards to Lucid. I mean, Lucid is definitely legit. I would not compare it to Nikola at all. I mean, Nikola was a scam, though, as you probably know. Sandy Monroe has visited them recently, and it looks like he's been impressed about what's happening. I still think they're trying to fool everybody. I feel like, if they have these great prototypes, why did GM not follow up on their deal? Why they had to hide stuff? So, and, I wish I was there with Sandy, because I had some extra questions for them. But yeah, Rivian is definitely legit. It's just the way they go about things is not. And that's what kind of my question and concerns are. I keep hearing booms that are like rocking my house. All right, Nate Jones, the super chat master at this point, the king, with a $5 super chat, says, too tired slash fatigued to give much fig that today. Have a good week. I totally understand. I have been running around like I don't even like, honestly, I got here on Wednesday and usually I just go and get groceries. It's what, Tuesday now, and I'm gonna leave tomorrow and I have not even gotten to the store. Like, yeah, I hear you. Well, Lawrence has an interesting. Thank you, Nate, for another super chat. Lawrence asks, "Do buyers have to sign an NDA?" So I have been trying to get a hold of those first Lucid customers that they've delivered the cars to, but they have not. So they have not been very responsive because I think they're all kind of friends of Lucid, so they know that they don't want to talk to the media. At least this guy who goes by Tesla to Lucid on Twitter, we kind of had a public conversation and he said that they did not have anything signed or whatever, but it can also be kind of like, hey, just stay away from media kind of thing. So we'll see. I've been working on it, but I don't know if they've signed any type of ADA. He said no. Let's see. All right, here's another comment from Chris Bates. I was always worried about Lucid, so much money coming in, but not too many cars going on. I wouldn't be worried about that. I mean, that's pretty normal to have a couple of $1 billion to be spent before a company can start making cars. And at the beginning, as you know, with Tesla, pretty much anybody else, it is not it's hard to ramp up the production. So I think that's perfectly fine. Master Mason 32, he just became a member. I do have to say that I am behind on posting stuff for members, mainly because I don't really know what members kind of are interested. I think a lot of people just want to support the channel and they don't really watch stuff that when I post, because I'll post like behind the scenes stuff, and out of, I don't know, maybe I have 100 premium members and like 5 will watch. So I don't know, but feel free to suggest as a new member, and thank you so much for joining. Master Mason 32. And the next one is 10 M Elvis. It's easy to make a prototype, but Nikola has not produced anything. Well, so like I said, it looks like there is an alpha. So it's not easy to produce an alpha prototype. Actually, it's not at all. Alpha prototype is where a lot of stuff has already been engineered in many different ways, from battery modules to the cooling system to software. So no, when you get to alpha prototype, you're definitely doing something. It's far away from production, but that is a very important milestone. So if they really do have the prototype, like Sandy looks like confirmed, again, I have questions, but then I absolutely would consider them at least in play. All right, guys, there's so many comments that I'm not really sure if I can get to all of them, and I'm also going to try to pick people who have not commented before. Here's John Ellis says Porsche apparently did custom electric/hybrid cars, partially using Audi parts, and have done so for years. Porsche, there was a report from a whistleblower, and I need to follow up on that like 60% of Porsche Taycan batteries have to be like replaced, and they're not even telling their customers. Sometimes customers will come in for a very vague problem, and they would, I guess, and again, this is per report, I need to investigate a little more, and then they would basically say, hey, we need to take it in, and they will change the battery module and never tell the customers. So that's not good. Mr. Q says hello from the blizzard in Kauai. Sorry to hear you having a blizzard, even though I'm sure you were hoping to have a nice vacation, but also nothing wrong with sitting inside of your resort and probably relaxing. Let's see. Well, there you go. Master Mason 32 says, I became a premium member to support, not to watch anything. I really appreciate it, guys. I'm just always baffled by all of the support, and I don't even know what to say. There's another super chat from Sam. Sam, thank you so much. $5, as you probably know, goes towards my Chipotle meals, which I have daily. Did I have one yesterday? Yes, I did. I found this really awesome location here that's not the closest today I'll have to go to the closest because my day has already been like super busy with stuff. But I go to Chipotle every day pretty much. All right, Sam says, hey Alex, thoughts on Aptera? I think they're production ready for 2022. They're not communicating as much as I mean, they were just releasing their prototypes, and it looks like they've had 3 different steps, right? um I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they start making cars by the end of the year, but I also wouldn't be surprised if they push it a little to 2023. I know the interest is really big, and I think that that one is actually worth the money just because of the way it looks and technology and stuff like that. Where Electromechanica, Solo, or Archimoto for sure is, I don't just see how it's worth the money. I mean, I see the usage for those two, but I don't see how it's worth the actual money. With Aptera, yes, but unfortunately, I wish they were at the LA Auto Show because they are located in SoCal, and it would be nice if they were there. That would be great because I have never seen one in person. We kind of agreed on a visit, but a lot of times, not a lot of times, most of the time, they pay for us to come out and see their products and stuff like that. Unfortunately, they didn't seem to have a budget for that, and this channel is awesome for me and you guys, hopefully, but it's still a business, and I can't just spend $1,000 to make a video that's just not gonna get me that money back. And I still have to pay my people and editors and researchers and stuff like that. So Dan, thank you once again, Sam, for the super chat. And by the way, we'll do dance and then we'll do a quick shout out. Dan says, do you think the Bolt will ever be produced again, or is it completely done? No, they will. I mean, no, they will definitely. It's not done. They will start producing it. I mean, they keep pushing it. I think now they pushed it to January. I mean, I think Mary Barra should be fired just for this whole fiasco and the way they handle it, and for many other reasons. But whatever. I no, that will be produced. I mean, it's a matter of LG Chem producing enough batteries to do the recall, and then start producing enough batteries to actually start the production, right? So it's a lot of cars too. I mean, every single one of them is recalled, and you have to make a battery and then swap the battery before you can really start making the new one. So as a matter of fact, getting a used Bolt right now is actually not a very bad deal because you're buying a car that a lot of people are kind of iffy on, but essentially you're going to get a brand new battery upgrade, the range upgrade, and then your warranty, right? So that's pretty cool. Pedro says, hi, Alex, and hi, Burberry shirt. I love this Burberry shirt. I know it's old. I know it's like, yes, seen better days, but I love it. Yes. All right. So before we go any further, I just wanted to quickly remind you guys that this channel is sponsored by Energy Pal. If you're shopping for your home solar system, it's the best place online to shop. It's true. And then review and compare quotes. They do all of the hard work for you, and you get safe. Pretty good deal. You'll get the best rates, and once your installation is complete, you'll get, check this out, E4Electric viewer exclusive $500 gift card when you use the link in the description of this video. Check them out and let me know what your feedback is. All right, let's go back to answering some questions. Oh, here it is. My computer is glitchy, guys. You're gonna have to excuse me because it's just now delayed. I did order a new laptop because mine is like, it was $300 when I bought it like 5 years ago, so it's crap. And my colors are off on the screen, but I ordered it and the package was delayed. So now they're trying to deliver it my Sacramento home, where really I'm in Vegas. So that did not work out very well. But next time I'll have a better computer. Electric Cyclist says Archimoto would be much more usable if it had rapid charging. I wasn't even aware that they didn't have rapid charging. And you guys, as you know, I'm not going to promote a brand that has part of their board of directors someone who has had an anti-EV social media posts. They do. So until then, that brand really is kind of dead to me, to be honest with you. Another super chat. That's the third one from Master Mason. Thank you so much. He says, Energy Pal is awesome. Awesome liar. From there was helpful to me and so nice about everything. I'm glad you had a good experience. I basically had them do kind of two quotes on both of my houses in Sac and Vegas because both are obviously have a lot of sun, coming in. And we just kind of taped it and I did an interview, and it's on my channel. You can basically see how it goes, how they create quotes, and how you get to save. And honestly, like when I shop for insurance, I usually go to a broker, right? I say, listen, you know better, go compare stuff and tell me what's best for me. This is what I need. They do exactly that because shopping for solar, honestly, it is a freaking project just to even shop. Forget about the actual, installation. It is super difficult. That's why I'm really proud of them. Being my sponsor, and it took me a while to actually pick the one that that I was comfortable with because there's tons of solar companies out there, right? Status of delay in Giga Berlin, asks Richard. I don't know. I mean, obviously, it's a lot of bureaucracy, and again, American company, new company trying to build in German territory. I expect nothing less, but for people to fight it. But I'm sure. I'm sure they'll figure it out, but this wasn't supposed to be an easy fight. Constantine says hi from Monza, Italy. Hello, hello, bonjour. Ciao, ciao. There you go. Hey, yeah. My brain's not working. Ciao. Milan. It was the only place I've ever been in Italy. I would love to go all over Italy. I mean, I had one of my most favorite places on earth is Milan, and I would love to come back. But I've been told the rest of the Italy is just as amazing. Um, Let me scroll up. I can't scroll up because you guys are scrolling down so fast. Elkview WV says, I enjoy your videos and especially Sandy Monroe. Keep it up. Thank you. I love your channel, especially when someone else is on the screen. But yeah, I agree with you. Sandy is awesome. We're just about to release a video on Thursday. That's kind of a second part of our conversation in person. The first one did really well, over 200,000 views. Our conversation about Lucid, and this one is about Rivian, and we taped it also face to face in Los Angeles. Not the best camera setup, I have to admit, so excuse that, but it was great to hang out. It looks like I'll be hanging out with Sandy in the next few weeks, so we'll try to do it again. We just taped two more episodes over Zoom, so that's going to be coming out as well. But yeah, Sandy's awesome. Let me scroll back up and see if there was anything else that I missed. Well, here's an interesting one. This one comes from Mystic Q. How's the chip shortage affecting quality cars and prices? Should we wait 2023 to buy a new car? So I made a video about this. I mean, chip shortage is no joke, and I don't expect it to get better until, from my research, until probably summer. Some will get out of it faster than others. I mean, Tesla obviously will because they haven't even gotten too bad. But they're also expanding their, just production and model lineup, so they're still constrained. But yeah, the prices are up. Like for example, I never buy my cars out of the lease, and I'm just about to buy my Volt out of the lease because the prices are so high. My residual is definitely several $1,000s less. Buying a new car or used car, it's crappy to be a buyer. If you can wait for another year, I would. That's why I didn't want to buy another car, and I'm just gonna rather buy mine out of the lease. Um, but it will get better. But both used and new car prices are much higher because of that, and it will continue to, you know, be that way for a while. From again my research, check it out. The videos on my channel. Um, all right, Master Mason 32. I don't understand the question. Maybe you mistyped, or let me know if. Let me know if you can maybe just ask it again. Did you saw a video by Warren? This is Papa Geo 79. Did you see the video by Warren Redlick? I don't know how to pronounce the name, about Lucid, talking about you and Sandy. Honestly, I don't follow the guy at this point. He did this hit video on me, and I came back and I debated him for like hour and a half on his channel, and I'm realizing that you can't really use logic or facts with him. He did another video about I don't know which one you're talking about. Um, Yeah, so no, I didn't see him do the video on me and Sandy, but honestly, who cares? I think if you're following him and listening to him, you're not really friends with facts. You know, he's obviously someone who's invested in Tesla and doesn't really care. He will say anything to defend Tesla and attack everybody else. He does it in a not a very, I would say, well, definitely not professional, but even nice way, for the lack of a better word. And he just was basically embarrassed, I would say, by Tom Malogny, who, you know, he did a video using Tom's a charging test for Lucid, and he argued that, you know, the battery is bigger because more energy was spent. And, you know, Tom showed him in a very lengthy post, and there was another person did the same thing where, you know, 15% of energy is lost to so many other things. And Tom broke it down. And then Warren, of course, found some hack that I think was like Current Driver, a writer who somehow claimed that Tesla magically, against all laws of physics, only loses 1% when charging, even though you can't really confirm that because they don't show you how many kilowatts was dispersed, only how many kilowatts the car actually got. So at this point, you know, I think you either understand he's a hack and you don't want to follow him, or you don't, and then we have nothing to talk about. I mean, again, like, there's only I can only use logic and facts and evidence. If that's not your thing, then again, we cannot have a conversation. Again, I'm not gonna bother with. I mean, with him, I don't think anymore. So, and it looks like his channel is kind of not really. Growing, and I'm assuming it's because I think people are realizing that, you know, one thing you kind of attack me and whatever, but another thing you attack Tom Malogny. Tom Malogny is probably the most respected OG electric car journalist out there. He is excellent, and when you're starting attacking him, especially, it was obvious that Warren doesn't know anything about how cars are being charged. uh, you know, you're gonna be dropped on your face, and which Tom did in a very nice and polite way. So if after that, if after you see the evidence of how Warren sort of um, essentially misinforms everybody, and you still follow him, there's nothing we can talk about. So why don't we move on? There's nothing, you know. I think I've beat that horse for too long. Here's a comment from Michael BZ. Elon does not want you to get the EV tax credit. He already got his. I don't know if that's true. Obviously, Tesla wants everybody to be getting the tax credits because, you know, um, yeah, you know. Here's another comment, Master Mansion 32. When after Dillon, I don't know who Dillon is, but again, yeah, he'll go after anybody who even remotely criticizes Tesla, or even worse, sort of is excited and talks about positively about other EV brands. So, you know, it is what it is. All right. Brian says, Alex, are you meeting up with Sandy on his run around with the Plaid? So, because we haven't even figured out, I probably shouldn't be disclosing this publicly. You know, I don't know. In where we were planning to meet up, I don't know if he announced yet that he's going to be there. So that was a private conversation. So I don't know. If he comes through Vegas or Sacramento, we'll probably at least have dinner, but I don't know if we're actually going to do the video. So I have not figured that out yet, but it's a good question. I should probably ask him as well. Um, let's see. Elon stated he does not want Build Back Better bill to pass. Oh, I didn't even realize that, says Michael. You know, Elon says either very extremely awesome good things or very extremely stupid things. So that is a stupid thing, and probably self-serving thing, because I understand that he's on even footing right now as far as just not having tax credits with GM. But for consumers, I'd rather. I know it's going to be a very unfair, the whole union cars getting extra money thing, but I still rather have, you know, people get a lot of money back and have incentives to buy any electric vehicle than not at all. So I think Elon is. This was a very self-serving statement. So you know, Master Mason 32 says, "Oh, Dillon is from the Electrified channel. He does good videos too." Well, there you go. Then you're gonna get attacked by Warren. But like I said, I really just don't think he's relevant. Just, I mean, let him bark. I honestly, like, I'm not even gonna bother and watch whatever that video you're talking about. Um, when do you think EV tax credit will pass? Asks Shardul Modi. If you're asking me to predict our government or Elon Musk or Donald Trump or Joe Biden, it's just a guessing game. I don't know. I mean, hopefully sometime in the first half of the next year, but I'm sure you don't like that answer, right? Because it's just way too vague. Um, Another super chat from Master Mason 32. Elon talks funny when he is tripping. LSD. I Whatever he's on, I just want him to continue kicking butt with Tesla, improving quality and hopefully service, and continuing pushing everybody into the sort of next level of in automotive industry. But I honestly, I'm just kind of ignoring everything else, that the silly and stupid things that he says. Thank you for $2 more. Mr. Q. All right, now we're talking about vaccines and mandates. Honestly, I don't really want to get into it because it's more politics. Have nothing to do with electric cars, guys. Let me scroll back and see if I missed anything. But as far as the Build Back Better plan, just like its names, it's impossible to get out. Let's see. Here's an interesting comment. Jay Ramirez, how are you doing, my friend? I don't think you missed a live stream yet. I think it would be awesome if you invite Sarah and Tune from YouTube on the show. She's nice. I've never heard of her, but that's if you have a link, I would love to check it out. So, but that brings me to I mean, sorry guys, I'm going to just kind of slow down on the on the comments, because I wanted to tell you about the weekend that I had. So me and my friend, who's another YouTuber, but he's a tech YouTuber, we're friends here in Vegas. So we've known each other since we kind of started our channel. So it's really cool to see, both of us end up being full-time YouTubers. He's much younger, which is even more impressive. I think he's like 25. So we ended up driving to this event that was kind of organized by one of the influencers for the rest of the electric car influencers, and some of the brands brought their cars because they knew there will be a bunch of influencers hanging out. And I actually ended up doing a quick Instagram post. And remember the guy who owns the Poly Drops, like the trailer that's like super EV friendly because it reduces drag by so much, it saves you like 30% of range. Apparently, he saw my my Instagram, realized where we were, and because his shop is like 10 minutes away, and just showed up to say hi. How cool is that, right? But anyway, so there were two Ford Mustang Mach-E's. One was performance, one was GT regular and GT performance. There were Porsche Taycan Sport Turismo, and there was Rivian XC40 recharged by Volvo. There was a Polestar 2. There was a Tesla Plaid that was someone's. Mercedes EQS, Audi e-tron GT, Archimoto guys, Nissan Leaf. So there's a bunch of electric cars that they brought out, and so it. Where do I start? It was quite interesting to hang out with others, because I always felt like when I hang out with tech YouTubers, and I know quite a few now full-time tech YouTubers, I know quite a few YouTubers in a space of like YouTube coaching, right? Like those YouTubers who like help you become a better YouTuber. So those two niches I'm really almost jealous, because they are so friendly to each other. Whether you're a bigger YouTuber or smaller YouTuber, bigger YouTubers help out smaller YouTubers. It's really like a very cool community. And everybody's kind of knows each other. Yes, I mean, their own internal little problems here and there, but I got to tell you, it is refreshing when I hang out with them versus when I hang out with electric car YouTubers. So there were a couple that I already knew, and then I kind of had a good time with. Will and Marty. So Marty was the guest last time, right? They are running the SoCal Tesla fan club. sorry, I butchered the name probably, but it's a not official Tesla club, which actually makes it more awesome. And I ended up hanging out with them, but everybody else, I gotta tell you, like, it was weird because there were quite a few people there, and I just didn't see that people really wanted to connect as much. And I didn't go there for cars. I mean, I did end up driving the Audi e-tron GT for the first time, production version, and what a disappointment. But let me tell you about it some other time. And even my buddy, who is a tech YouTuber, he was like, "Wow, this is just a rough crowd. People are just not." They're not friendly, and I agree. And so that was a bit weird. I'm gonna lie. That was a little bit weird because I was hoping to go and meet some new people, or maybe kind of strengthen relationship that I had with other YouTubers, and maybe had them on the show, because like I love having guests on my live stream. And yeah, people were like, "Yeah, I have 2,000 subscribers and I don't need any help, and I don't really want to hang out with you." So really weird. But again, I ended up hanging out with people I already know, and they were like, "Oh, Kyle from Out of Spec." And his team were like fucking awesome. I mean, these people are just great. I love hanging out with him. Um, let's see. 10M Elvis says, Alex, did you do something to get blacklisted from Porsche and Rivian? Well, from Porsche, I was told back in the day by this guy who runs their Taycan PR. His name is Calvin, who was actually there. Um, who basically said that we don't want to deal with you. We blacklisted you because you're sponsored by Byton and it's an auto manufacturer. I pointed out that pretty much everybody else who they deal with, one way or another, either is also sponsored by auto manufacturer or works for someone who's sponsored. So, but logic didn't work with Porsche, and honestly, there's nothing I can do. So that's what I did to get blacklisted. Nothing. I honestly don't know, and it is what it is. I brought it up with their head of PR or whatever, and they didn't really care. They thought that was just fine. Again, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. It is what it is. I can only laugh at that. All right, Master Mason 32 says, I would like to see video of Alex with Zach and Jesse. So we've done a few videos back in the day together. I honestly have to say that I'm quite disappointed in them. The way they kind of a polite Warren channel, right? Lots of misinformation, lots of hate for non-Tesla EVs, even though they're claiming to be pro, electric cars, and a lot of information missed when it comes to Tesla, right? If there's any type of news that's not positive, that would be not covered a lot of times. And obviously the excusers in chief and all that stuff, and I really like them, and they're really nice guys. Like I said, we had interviews, but honestly, I don't even know if they would want to do an interview with me, because essentially I would have to call them out on a lot of things, and especially that ID4 review, which probably. So that's that. So I don't mind. It's just it's not going to be a nice interview like it was before, and I doubt that they would want to have that type of a conversation. The Cows asks, Alex, please interview Bjorn Nyland. Would be cool to see you two chatting. I have interviewed him when I was in Frankfurt a couple of years ago. It's on my channel. I don't really follow him that much. Like, the stuff that he does is just not something that I'm that much interested in. Like, really, really kind of scientific charging and drive videos. Tom Malogny, I think, actually does a much better job in that. And so I watched Tom, and he's a very nice guy, by the way, super shy, very, very awesome guy in person. Again, we don't cross paths very often. That was one time when we crossed our paths at the Ionity booth in Frankfurt, and I posted the video of my interview with him. You can easily search for it in my channel. Yeah, and like the whole banana box test that he does that became very popular, which is really cool, right? I just, like, for example, I don't really care about cargo space as much. Like, how many people really like jam their cars to the full, and they're like, oh my God, this car does not have an extra 3 cubical inches. I don't want it, right? I really don't know. I've never got close to filling up any of my cars ever in my 30 years here in America with anything. So I don't know anybody else who did. So I don't really know. And I'm not really sure banana boxes are the way to measure. I think we only have like cubic feet and inches. But yeah, I mean, if I ever cross my paths with them and there's a topic in the setting, then of course, like, I don't mind chatting with any of these people. I think it's more they are maybe not that much up for it, because I gotta call out some BS, especially with now guys. But who knows? Who knows? Let's see. Did I miss any super chats, guys? Let me make sure. Oh, here it is. Yes, I did. Again from Master Mason 32. This is your fifth or sixth super chat, man. Thank you. $2, 240 watching less than 80. 240 watching less than 80 likes. Hit the thumbs up, guys, or thumbs down. I don't really care. Either way, it's engagement. So if you're not doing anything, go ahead and click on one of those two, and I would appreciate it. And if you haven't subscribed and you're somehow watching, of course, don't forget to click the subscribe button and the bell notification as well. Here's an interesting comment from Cyberman 1968. He says, would love electric, but can't afford at the moment. Don't have private parking, but would love an EV. I bet you can afford it, because I mean, there are used electric vehicles out there that are excellent. I mean, 2022 Nissan Leaf is really under $20,000, so the lease should be like $199. But the private parking is a problem. There's this one sponsor that I'm working with. We're going to start advertising next month. They're the ones that you would call if you live in an apartment complex and you want your apartment complex manager, to install a bunch of dedicated charging spots where it's still very much a cost-effective way. And these guys essentially work with both sides. So EV Charge for You is the name of the company. So we'll start advertising them pretty soon. And I think it's a pretty good service. But yeah, I honestly believe if you don't have a place to charge overnight that's dedicated and guaranteed to you, unfortunately, as much as it pains me, my tongue is just going to like spasm to say it, but it's not for you. You have to wait or move or get a house. You know what I mean? So oh, here's an interesting comment. It says, it starts with Russian typed in English letters. It says, Jeff Mayer says, hi, my friend. And it says, I'm an Aptera investor. What are your thoughts on the three-wheel EV market? Is it the future? I love my Toyota Tacoma, and it only seats two comfortably. So I appreciate your excellent Russian. And I like Aptera over any other three-wheeled vehicles. It is not for me, because I don't have a need for it. I think someone who wants to take a drive in Malibu, they already have a Tesla and they already have the EQS or whatever else, and they just wanted like a cool looking, interesting three-wheel vehicle to just kind of drive down the Highway 1 and Pacific Coast Highway, in Malibu. Then that's a great vehicle. It's really cool looking, But as far as like daily driver or something that's, if you're in a crowded city, by the way, also probably a three-wheeled vehicles is a good deal, especially if you're maybe delivering something. Either you're, one of the Uber Eats or whatever drivers, or Grubhub, or you just own a restaurant or a place that delivers on their own, great vehicles to do that, right? Like Solo is a great vehicle, but the triple of the price where they should be for what they offer. But I think there's a three-wheel EV market, in pretty much two markets, right? One is just for people who just want something cool and open and kind of fast and fun if they have extra money and go out to go hiking or biking or whatever out in the nature, and people who are actually running a business and they need to make sure that deliveries are done in a crowded city where it's quite hard to get it done. I have two super chats with no so there, Jeff. I have two super chats with no messages whatsoever, and I appreciate it. One is from Elkview V. I still don't know how to pronounce your handle, so I apologize for that. $4.99. I appreciate that. And another one is from Douglas Mark for $5. Together, it's a Chipotle meal. I appreciate that. A Master Mason 32 says, see you later, Thanks for hanging out and for all of the super chats. Mystic U says, "What color is your next car?" Honestly, all of my cars are black. I love black on black cars. My Volt is black. My Teslas were black. My ID4 is black, and my next car is most likely going to be black. So I just love that color. I think it looks slick. If you tint the windows, tint the wheels if you have to. I didn't have to on my um, um, didn't have to do it on my 84. I like the wheels the way they are over there. Um, okay, Mike E says you can probably get a good deal on a Bolt now, but last I checked, there was still a no sell order on them, so you can buy, but dealer can't actually let you drive off the lot until recall complete. Yes, about the new ones, but you can buy a used one, and that's a really good deal. I mean, cars are more expensive now, no matter what. We've talked about it earlier, right? But the uh, the the used ones you can buy whatever. And as a matter of fact, like I said, you're going to get a brand new battery, brand new warranty, and a little bit of extra range, from what I understand, right? Um, so to follow up on my favorite car color, Luis Silva says, "Are you going for a black Cybertruck?" I know I'm a reservation holder, and I'm one of the first reservation holders. I'm not getting a Cybertruck. I mean, I'm just not. Um, I have no interest in driving a big tank. I have no interest in not having a head-up display, and I also have no interest in dealing with a company that provides crappy customer service. If that changes, that would obviously change my view. But yeah, Calvin N says black on black cars and your women question mark LOL. Yes, I guys probably know last 10 years my relationships were exclusively pretty much with African American women. That's yes, yes, without going any further. Thoughts on BYD Dolphin. I don't know what that is. Should I feel a little bit uneducated right now. I will look that up. No interest in Ford Lightning, asks Jay Ramirez. No, I mean, I again, pickup trucks are not for me, especially a large one like that. I just, it's not for me. I have no need for it, but I know a lot of people do, especially businesses. So like, I'm not knocking the truck, I'm just saying it's not for me. So there was one comment that I need to scroll back. I'm sorry, guys. My computer is really glitchy right now. I know I'm trying to get to a bold comment. Let's see if I'm able to get it on the screen. Yes. Fu Kung Flu. Um, yeah, I don't even know if I'm comfortable reading your handle. I don't think I mentioned it last time. But why would anybody buy a Bolt right now? It's morphodite in the market. No, I'm telling you, it's a good deal because you know that you're going to get the car. I mean, the chances of it catching on fire. I know I make fun of it all the time, but honestly, 15 to 20 of them caught on fire out of like 200,000, right? Plus or whatever. The chances are minimum, and you're going to get your battery upgraded for free, and you're going to get a longer range, and you're going to get a new warranty. Like, no, it's a great deal. It is a great deal because of that. So let's see. He also says BYD is a huge car company, Alex. Yeah, I know. As a matter of fact, at some point they were the leaders in electric, meaning EVs and plug-in hybrid cars in the world until Tesla, went to China and overtook them. Now I know who they are. I'm just surprised that a lot of people now in my audience know who they are because they seemed pretty disinterested a couple of years ago when I was reporting on it. But now the interests have gone up, and I'm just wondering what changed. I'm glad that it did. Let's see. Ionic 5, excellent car. People are gonna love it. It's got excellent range. It's got excellent track record. Hyundai's, that's what their third already technically model, right? It's got excellent charging, one of the best in the industry. It can power up your stuff. It's just not for me because I just saw it in person for the first time in Los Angeles Auto Show, and just It's not for me. I don't like the look. I don't like the look of the EV6, even though that is also an excellent car, and that's why they make all different cars, right? Different strokes for different folks. It's just not my stroke, I guess. Um, Elzo's um, Elzo Stubble says, I did not expect that. Let me know what you didn't expect, but I'm glad I'm full of surprises, I guess. Uh, um, Maury says, I know a guy that reserved 30 Cybertrucks. I think he's going to rent them out. Yeah, I also know somebody who reserved like 50 of them. And, you know, I remember Tesla used to limit like Model 3s because I reserved 10 Model 3s back in the day because I also thought I was going to either, have my own like taxi fleet or whatever. And they basically returned 8,000 of my money and said, no, you only get two. So, and I got none at the end. So I don't know why they're not limiting them now, but it is what it is. Okay. Sorry, I just have to wait for the damn computer to like click. No interest in Fisker Ocean. No, I'm interested in Fisker Ocean, especially for $30,000 after a tax credit. So yeah, we'll see. I'm not that big of a fan on like back windows, and I really wish they would have kept their original interior, which was absolutely stunning. But no, I think and again, Magna is making it, so I'm definitely I like it. And there were a lot of interest for it at the LA Auto Show. Probably the most popular EV related booth for sure, and maybe just one of the most popular booths. Period. Displays. Kevin N asks, when is the Aria coming? Unfortunately, they just told me, that was news to me. That's in fall of next year, so essentially in about a year. That's a bit of a disappointment. I covered that in my last video that nobody, I guess, wanted to watch from Sunday. Let's see. Check out. John says, check out fully charged on BYD Dolphin. It's going to be a game changer in our country. I don't know. I don't think BYD is going to be a game changer in any country, unless it's China. I doubt you're in China, but I'm going to assume you're in Norway. Definitely not in America anytime soon. I can tell you that. But yeah, I don't really follow fully charged, but I'll see if I have some time to check that out. Let's see. Don Emery says, if you think Tesla's customer service is poor, try dealing with GM over our Bolt recall. I mean, I had nothing but great customer service with my Volt. I understand this recall is probably a complete clusterfuck. It's, yeah. But at the same time, at least it's not their regular policy. Like, I can understand how they get overwhelmed and have maybe not a good policy in place for one particular thing. And I know it's not an excuse, but it's not a consistent FU customers policy that Tesla has had for now 5 years or so. So I hear you, but I just don't think anybody can beat Tesla's customer service in terms of how poorly customers get treated. It's not just customer service when you come, like, call in or come to the center. It's like, it's disrespectful to tell people you're going to get your car in 3 months, have your customers sell their cars, apply for the loan, and say, oh, you know what, and not even tell them, just kind of change the delivery date on them, and they have to find out on their own, and then realize that their pre-approved loan's going to expire. Now they have to rent a car for 3 months, and that's expensive. But to me, that part is very much customer relations, and it's just been unacceptable, if you ask me. But some people are more than happy to wait. And okay, let's see. Well, in addition to what we're just talking about, this comment is from Chris Bates. I think that Tesla is working on service. They added 2 new service centers in Phoenix, and they have been very responsive and quick. That's a great improvement in that area. It needs to be in all areas, first of all. And again, it just doesn't necessarily come from the service centers or call centers. It just comes with overall policy. Communication has been their, I think, biggest problem. Let's see. Yeah, Cedric says, Steve Wozniak said that his favorite car was the Bolt. And yeah, I'm an Apple fan in general, and there's a good reason why Steve has not been really involved in much. since Apple, right? I just don't think he's a visionary. I think he's just a lucky guy who just happened to know a genius and stick around and not screw up to, make a name for himself. But after that, I don't know. To me, he's not really an authority on anything, and especially on cars. Um, yeah, so BYD partnership with Toyota is big news in China, says Michael BZ. Maybe that's why people are kind of now realizing that, oh, they exist and they're great, and I wish they were here. Um, so here's an interesting question, because I featured the Lexus RS EV teaser in my last video. Kevin N asks, do you have any more information on Lexus? I don't. There's a teaser out there. They're saying it's a 2023 model, I think, and it looks like it's going to be just basically a luxury version of the BZ4X, but one step at a time, right? The teaser doesn't show you the whole car, but you get a pretty good idea. Um, you know, okay, so I gotta say, I've been out for a few days and I have not even had a chance to keep up with some of the news. So Jay Ramirez, I don't know what that Tesla big news on December 9th, 2021 is. I'm assuming Elon tweeted it out. And who knows? I mean, really, who knows? I hope it's not a new car announcement. That's what I for sure. Um, yeah, I don't buy cars based on Steve Wozniak's recommendations. I'm with you on that one. Um, oh, here's a comment about my outfit. Let's talk about real stuff here, really. Claire M says, "So your outfit at the LA Auto Show, very suave." Uh, yeah, I dressed up a little bit, because normally I would wear like a dress shirt and stuff like that. But and people ask me, why do I button my top? See, because this doesn't look that great. I'd rather button it up and have it more symmetric, But yeah, so I wore my black T-shirt and sports jacket. But honestly, I just forgot to bring I have an amazing suit with like a really cool tie. It's called hex tie, so it's kind of like a solid red tie. It's really awesome. I completely forgot about it. So, but yeah, I love that sports jacket. So I appreciate the comment. Let's see. Man, you guys are really chatting it up. I love it. Oh, here's Mike A says, we leased a Bolt back in my computer. Here we go. In April, when the recall was just for 2019, definitely regret the decision today. Decent car, but dealing with the recall sucks. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. Listen, I have not been hiding my disappointment with the way they handled the recall and how long it took. And it's probably not going to get any better in the next, throughout the recall. Jerry Mayer says, how was the Volkswagen's customer service been? I would say average, because I did have a couple of problems. I mean, my car is a first edition, so it had a few problems, and they did okay. I can't say that they were excellent, and I'm also not going to lie that high up executives found out that I was having a couple of problems, and I think things got fixed faster because of that. And like originally, one of the things was going to take like 4 weeks, because parts are like non-existent for a cars that just kind of hit production. And I know once people found out it was my car, the part arrived way quicker than it should have. And the customer service was okay. And again, I'm servicing it at Nilo Volkswagen in Sacramento, so I have not experienced other dealerships. Like with Tesla, I experienced 6 or 7 service centers, and they all sucked. And not at first. 2012, 2013 was nothing but excellence from Tesla. But I only experienced one from Volkswagen, and I gotta say, some of them were excellent, some of them was not that excellent. But so I would just kind of say average. The perk is that there's one within 10 minutes from me, and if I don't like that one, there's one 15 minutes away from me. So at least I have choices, and they're not too far away. And I do have to say that because I was having a little bit more problems than others, because others meaning that other people buying their gas cars. The service manager kind of took care of everything himself. And they have picked up and dropped off the car where normally they wouldn't. And I have to say that I appreciate that. But at the same time, my brakes squeak and they wouldn't fix that. And I'm like, that's not normal. They're like, well, you just have. So I wasn't happy about that. But overall, just to answer it, I would say average for sure. Um, Kevin Ann is asking, when are you getting the 3.0 software for your ID4? I don't even sure if I have 2.0. Like I've never had an update, and so yeah. So I don't know. I know it's rolling out in Europe, but I yeah, I wish they would hurry the hell up with it. M says 911 Saudi approved E4 electric. I don't even know what that means. I really don't know what that means. Lawrence says Ionic 5 still doesn't have pricing on their site. Set in one in Ireland, pretty interesting. Yeah, I mean it's pretty basic inside. I mean, I already said I hate that push handle and then drag. I think left-handed people have problems with that. I don't like that in Model 3 or Y or whatever. So I'm not a fan of that. Just like I said, very just not my thing. But I think it will sell really well, like really well. It's a great technology and great specs for what I think is going to be the really relatively reasonable pricing. Chris says, how long is the wait for ID4 today? If you order, so it depends on the region and country, and I think it depends if like sometimes they're willing to sell the demo or they have something that someone turned down last second, so they will pop that into the inventory. Then of course the question is, are they going to mark it up? If so, by how much? So you just, I mean, I would just do a search or contact your local dealer and see if you're like in a rush. I'm sure it will cost you, but I think you'll be able to get something. Um, let's see. Roger Am says, Alex, waiting for my computer. It's not that I can't read, guys. I mean, I can't read past, but it's just literally my computer is like super laggy right now. Roger M says, Alex, don't you agree we need more affordable battery-powered electric vehicles? Nickel metal hydride batteries could solve that. Uh, oh, yeah, of course, we need more affordable a lot of things in our lives, right? And the prices have gone up a lot over the COVID and will probably continue doing so because, supply chain, inflation, a lot of other things. That's one of the reasons I actually bought a house here in Vegas is because I didn't want any of my money to be sitting in savings account and getting devalued really because of the inflation. And that's usually what happens when you stimulate the economy. um, let's see, not that I'm saying it's a bad thing. I mean, they needed to stimulate the economy during this pandemic crisis, but that's just what happens after that, right? Yeah, so we do need more affordable EVs, but I think unlike 2-3 years ago, we can't bitch about it anymore because there are affordable EVs now. There are used EVs that are decent and even more affordable. So with a correction of what's happening with the supply chain and chip shortage, that's upping the prices of everything really. But um, yeah, so I think there are better choices now than ever, and we're only gonna get more. Another super chat from Ronnie Brown. Thank you so much. $4.99. I appreciate your electrifying spirit. Great things from the Netherlands. Somebody told me don't say Netherlands, say Netherlands. From Netherlands, um, a country I definitely would love to visit one day for sure. Yeah, no, I can't shut up about talking about electric vehicles. I was on a date last night. And honestly, I must have spent 15 minutes talking about electric cars to my first date. So, and yet she still agreed to another one. So I think it still went all right. Yeah, if you guys been watching me for a while, dating is one thing. I will complain about a lot of things, but dating will definitely be on top of my list. Okay? Whether it's dating in Sacramento or Oakland or Las Vegas, it's just not going well. But yeah, I spent like 15 minutes uh on that last night, but she did ask, like she was actually she like it's kind of weird. I matched with someone, I forget it was matched or whatever, and then she was like, oh my god, I've seen your videos before. And I'm like, wow. I actually made a friend, a female friend that's a good friend of mine now, and she's very much involved in local Vegas electric car community. She saw me on one of the dating apps. She's like, well, we're not really a good match, but I watch all the time, and let's hang out. And I do make some friends that way as well. I'm a little cautious sometimes, but it's always great to make friends based on the common interest, right? Um, let's see. Kevin Ann says, "Congrats on the next date. Make sure you let her talk a lot next time." I usually I do date women who are usually more sort of quiet and shy, and the women who actually like the guy to talk more, and they literally actually do like to listen. So that kind of fits, right? Because if anything, the last hour and 15 minutes shows you that I definitely can talk without shutting up in a long time. Um, let's see. Roger M still says, I still think the car manufacturer should go the BMW i3 route, going with lightweight materials than using massive battery packs. I mean, there are obviously different ways. I mean, I hope they don't go with the BMW i3 design route. But as far as using the lightweight materials, yeah, I mean, obviously you want the cars to be lighter because batteries are going to be heavy, and that's what really, that and wind resistance, the drag efficiency, is like what makes the range go up or down. But yeah, it says the i3 is also yesterday. I didn't even think i3 was good even yesterday. I'm an i3. I'm a certified i3 hater. So you guys know that. What happened to my background? I think my stream is like literally falling apart now. Uh, what happened to my background? It's now I've been blacked out. All right. Um, let me see if I can get it back. But what the hell is happening? Background. All right. So here's my background. All right, it's back. Wow. Much like my health after 40, things are falling apart. All right, let me get back to the chat. Uh, Kevin N, are you going to get a BMW i4 soon? You mean like to test drive? I don't know. I honestly, these brands, like when I had like 10,000 subscribers, I would get invited to every single test drive and test whatever and media event. Now that I have like what, I'm almost at 150,000 or something like that, and I have over 1 million views every month. Somehow nobody wants to invite me. It is weird. So I don't know. I know COVID played a big role in it, but I don't know. But as far as getting it myself, I would not. I mean, the monkey butt front is a deal breaker for me. I'm not just making a joke. I hate it. Um, let's see. Here's another question. John says, if you were to buy a serious four-wheel drive EV that also is a good daily car, which EV would it be? I mean, I love my ID4, and I love my ID4 especially for how little money I spent on it. And there's now an all-wheel drive version which I've tested, and it's also faster. So I would recommend that, but it depends on your budget. I mean, even a big budget and you're willing to wait, then Rivian is probably a great choice as well. It depends. Do you want a smaller car? Do you want a bigger car? I always try to stay away from recommending cars to people because it's like recommending a sushi restaurant or a girlfriend or a future wife. You like brunettes, I like blondes. Well, actually, the other way around. But and that's not something that you can recommend. So I don't really. I would go with if you're on a budget like most people, I'd say 84 wheel drive. Fab Trip says hello, love your channel. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. It says who's saying this? 10M Elvis saying this. BMW also lousy quality. I've had 3, 5, and 7 series. All of them had issues. Yeah, I had a 7 series back in the day, and BMWs are known for that. Just like Jaguars. So Porsches. It is what it is. Let's see. Okay, Fab Trip says, who do you think besides Tesla is winning the charging station game? Well, I mean, here in the United States, I don't know what winning is really. I mean, the Electrify America has the higher, faster charging, right? Some of their stations can charge up to 350 kilowatts, where Tesla's, I think, at best 300. But at the same time, Electrify America has had a lot of trouble. Much better lately. I have not had any trouble, though I did witness their big new location that they publicized so much when I stopped by there for the second time that day, and the mall was closed. So was the parking lot that you have to use to get to it. And luckily, I had enough juice to go to another Electrify America station. But if I didn't, and I was counting on that location after all the publicity, I would be pissed. So, but other than that, Electrify America has been catching up. Obviously, they're servicing all kinds of cars, and Teslas are obviously a smoother experience because they only have to deal with one brand, which is theirs. Electrify America has to deal with all kinds of brands. Not all of them are up and up on figuring out how to work with a third party. So it is a much bigger problem, of course. But and then of course there's Ionity and Fastnet and a few others in Europe. So I don't know if there's a winner. I think it also depends on your need. For example, I don't really need to fast charge my car that often, so I'm not even a great customer for that. What else, guys? All right, here's one. Mike asks, will you be doing a video about the Chinese taking over all the mining companies which produce the minerals to manufacture batteries for EVs? I will not, Mike. My channel and my personal interest is more in consumer sort of side rather than like what's inside the batteries or where you mine for the chemicals in them. Most consumers don't give a crap or even understand a lot of it or want to understand a lot of it. Like I just got a new phone, right? So, I mean, I hate it already, but I don't care where this battery was mined and how efficient it is. All I care is can it last throughout the day for me? That's all I care about. But if it's efficient or not efficient, what kind of minerals is made out of, couldn't care less, So I think most people are the same type of consumers of cars as I am a consumer of cell phones. And they just don't care. So I just chose I know there's an audience for what you're talking about as well, but I just chose my channel to be more consumer oriented. Though, when Sandy's on, which is, almost every Thursday nowadays, we do get, kind of in a weed of things into, so that's probably as sort of, as technical as you're going to see on my channel. Let's see. Jay Ramirez asks, is it an iPhone or an Android? As you know, I don't do cults, so this is an Android. I went from Pixel 3, which is Google's phone with the Google's operating system, Android, to Pixel 5a. I know there's Pixel 6, but I don't need the latest and greatest. I just needed a bit of a better, wider angle on my camera, and just my other phone really was just like peeling off on the back, not the case, the actual phone, because I had it for 3 years. And I've never had so much trouble going from transferring data from one phone to another. This is Google. I have a Google account that is attached to my Google phone with a Google operating system. And I'm not even going through too many versions. I'm just going from 3 to 5. And honestly, this has been the most painful experience. And the new operating system is awful, like in so many ways. And my apps are now crashing, which I found out is perfectly normal. And the way they set up gestures, I had to go inside some settings to make sure I get my back button, because the back button here was basically swiping from right to left. That's how you go back. And obviously none of the Google engineers are aware that some of us use dating apps and swiping left means no. And so I ended up basically going on a dating app, swiping no, and closing my app because my damn Google phone thought I just wanted to go back. Yeah, I mean, I can go on and on and on. So Android, but and I wouldn't do iPhone ever, but I not that happy with my 5A. But now it's mainly set up, and my brain has gotten used to whatever stupid crap that they put into the latest operating system. But it was painful. It was painful. Uh, Alexis D3000 asks, do you think Chinese EVs will sell in the US? I do, but not anytime soon. All of them are pretty much BYD, XPeng Motors, and NIO are expanding to Europe, which is a big deal. It is. They're starting from with Norway. I think Germany will be next, and so forth. Probably France. But until they realize that yes, there is a good market outside, they figured out how to sort of conquer, for the lack of a better word, a country with their service centers and and manufacturing and importing and exporting and stuff like that. Once they get comfortable there, I think they will at some point consider, US. I would say BYD would be first one, just because they already make buses here. If you guys are familiar with my channel, I visited their factory in SoCal 3 years ago, I think, and I have a video. They make American made all electric BYD buses, so I think they're a little bit more familiar with how to take their business, here into United States. And but Xpeng and Neo are pretty aggressive, so I'm sure they'll follow soon and figure that out. I mean, it can be that. Um, it can be rocket science. I don't think it's difficult, but not that difficult. Um, Jay Ramirez says, "Come to the dark side and join the iPhone." No, I will stick with this. I mean, for just many reasons. Like sometimes I just don't want to have everything Apple. Like my laptop. I don't need a super duper expensive laptop. Like I just bought a new one. And it was like $600, and I can buy a $600 brand new laptop from Apple. But if you have an iPhone, you have to have everything Apple around you, and I just don't. So that's just me though. Pete Glass says, thanks for warning as I jump from a Pixel 2 to Pixel 6. Now, the warning is not about just the phone itself. It's really mainly about Android 12 operating system. I'm sure if I had still Android 11 on my new phone, it would be all right. But migrating is a pain. Like for example, like my new Google phone asked me like, hey, how do you like, well, I don't want to say that, but like the trigger word for the assistant, it asked me to check out what my voice sounds like when I say it. And I'm like, you know what my voice sounds like, damn it. It's right there on your Google servers, somewhere in your Mountain View Google land. And you ask, and I already signed into my Google account on my Google phone and a Google operating system. And you're still asking me, new phone, who this? Yeah, beyond me. And one more note I will make, and I think this everybody will face this when you switch new phones, even though it remembers your username and password, what it doesn't, it's, now there's like two-step authentication with almost everything. So you can log in into the app and it will still be like, oh, I'm going to send a code to your email address or to your phone. Don't forget to put it in here. So it's like an extra step that you have to do for all of these apps that you sign into. And um, it's a bit of a pain. Alex, is Polestar any good? Asks Roger M. I'm assuming you're asking about Polestar 2. I think it's an excellent electric vehicle that's about $10,000, $15,000 overpriced. But if you want it and money is not, and or you really, really like it where you think it's worth it, then it's an excellent, excellent electric vehicle, I think. Oh man, that's a lot of messages. Let me look. Oh yeah. So somebody said no headphone socket or pulse anymore, says Jay. So I do have a headphone socket now. It came back because before that you had to plug into the same port where you plug in your charging. So you couldn't like be on your headphones unless these are wireless, which I hate. I like my wires. I'm old. So and get off my lawn. And now and then you had to have a adapter and stuff. But now I see that it's back. I love that. Now that I bought wireless headphones for my previous one, right? Um, yes, there, Kevin, and you're right. There is Polestar 3 coming as well. I didn't see it in person, but it looks good. It looks good. I mean, these are good cars. It's just my only problem with just with Mazda, right? The pricing. You want to do 100-mile, car, which I probably would buy. Sure, price it at 15,000. Not 30. Um, all right. So, oh, this is actually an interesting comment. Not that I have a comment about it. Michael says it will be interesting to see how fast such a big company like Toyota is able to ramp up production of EVs. Well, technically, they've been already making EVs, right? The RAV4 Prime plug-in hybrid, and they know how to ramp up production. They've been doing electric powertrain for a while. Honestly, I think they're just going to kind of storm in. People will love it, especially Toyota people, and Toyota will be like, oh, people do buy electric vehicles and we can make them and we can figure out how to make them, for profit and all that stuff. And they'll be like, okay. So I think that's what's going to happen with that. Let's see. Emmanuel says, are you concerned with Google phones? I lost it. And now I got Jay Renner says, I installed a motion detector water sprinkler on my front yard to keep neighborhood dogs to stay off my lawn. You know what? I need to do the same because my neighbors, especially over there, do get dog. And here, everybody's got dogs that are barking. Don't get me started on that. Do I know about electric RVs coming out? There's a comment that I just missed, but I know somebody asked. I do not. I probably they're at the bottom of everyone's list as far as manufacturers are concerned. Though it's a shame, I would love one, right? Do you think the Ioniq 5 will end up looking like Prophecy? Maybe in the next generation, but also, Prophecy is a much higher level car, so maybe not. But definitely, the design language is absolutely different. I agree with you, Red Paris. Um, and I already missed that comment. Let me go and see if I can find this. My computer is literally just like hates me right now, and I hate it back. To be honest with you, that's why I'm replacing it with a, better, younger, prettier one. Um, uh, okay. People are chanting. Melody of 1974 is chanting, "Join a cult, join a cult, join a cult." I mean, honestly, it's. I really like my personal and even business needs are so that I just don't want to commit to one brand that only makes same thing, and it's really expensive. And sometimes I don't mind spending money. Like sometimes I need quality stuff, like my computers at home where I live stream and my studio editing computers in Sacramento. They are quality computers. I would have not had no problem paying Apple for it, even for the phone. Like at this point, if iPhone would be like other brand friendly phone where I didn't have to like get into this whole, like I could use like a Google account to sign into my iPhone. I would totally switch. At this point, this is such crap. I just like hate it. I would totally go. I just don't like to be locked into a place where it's only one choice and it's also an expensive choice. So no, thank you. But thank you for the invitation. I'm sure you'll call this very nice. Let's see. Here's an interesting question. Red Paris says, does the increase in Model Y prices make the Mach E a more attractive option in your opinion? So with Mach E, it's a little more difficult, right? Because Mach E is being marked up by dealers all over the place. Some $20,000, some only a few $1,000s. So to me, I would take Mach E over Model Y for just a few other reasons. Obviously Tesla, customer service, no head-up display or instrumental panel, complete deal breaker for me. And those door, you know, the ways the door handles are just also unacceptable. So Model Y is not my thing, but let's say it is your thing, and you truly do look at these two different cars. I like how both of them look, but I literally at this YouTuber hangout in Pasadena that I was telling you guys about that I went to over the weekend. One of the probably one of the bigger Tesla fans that I've seen in the community told me that if he's ever for the market for a Model Y type of an electric vehicle, after driving the GT, he said they would definitely go for the Mach-E GT. So that's saying something, right? I mean, it's a better built car. I mean, I like the vertical screen much better. I like the instrumental panel. I love the way it looks. So it depends. Like some people really wanted the self-driving software. I couldn't care less for it. And Ford doesn't have one, so that would be probably something that you go one way or another. So um, Mr. Khan asks, where are you? I am in my home in Las Vegas. It's my second home. My main home is in Sacramento, where I'm going to be flying to tomorrow, and then I'll be there for a little bit. It looks like I will be going to Turkey. Whether or not then I'll be back to from Turkey. I'll fly back to no, to Las Vegas again on the 21st. If I don't go to Turkey, I already have tickets to come here on the 20th, and then I'll spend Christmas and New Year's here and CES, and then I'll go back to Sacramento on the 9th. So that's my plan. But things change. Um, Roger Am says Taycan Gran Turismo, my favorite battery electric vehicle now. Um, don't like Taycan, honestly. I think it's not for me overall. I think it's an overpriced car that's no way better than Tesla Model S at all, or Lucid, or but unless you like want to take your like you regularly take your car on a track, then yes, I would. I think that may just be better. But I hate the way it's inside. I hate the interface. I hate the fact that they put gears in it, right? But yeah, listen. As long as your favorite car is an electric car, we are friends. So we're friends, Roger M. Let's see, guys. Honestly, I need to have some food. I have not eaten a meal since yesterday. I think 5 p.m. I did have some desserts afterwards, but I really need to eat something, and I have a meeting after that. So, if you don't mind, unless there are any super chats or I don't know, dating advice that I need to stick around for, I would like to conclude this hangout. As you know, I do this every week, usually on Tuesdays at 1 p.m. But I believe I will be in San Jose, California, at the QuantumScape, doing a story there for you guys. So next week for sure, it's going to be on Monday at 1 p.m. Pacific. But it looks like it doesn't bother most of you. You're able to make both. So I will. I know there's so many questions, guys. I'm really sorry. I just can't get to all of them. You're awesome for asking them, and I'm sure I can spend here like another 2 hours, and I would like to, but also it won't be a very entertaining show if I pass out from just being hungry, right? So go get some Chipotle, says Patrick. I appreciate it. I will do exactly that as soon as I hang out with you guys. I'm gonna place my order on my app so I can go and get it and then come back for my meeting. That's I think in 40 minutes now. So I better hurry up. Listen, guys. Uh, I've said it many times. My favorite part of the week is to come here and hang out with you. Thank you so much. Get something to eat, Alex. You look too skinny, says Michael. I appreciate it. I don't know how you can tell, but yes, I'm at my best, lowest weight I've been in like 20 years. Because not only am I gluten-free diet, I also cut out a lot of added sugar this year, and I did it. I'm at my target weight, so I love it. So yes, hit the like button, said Pete. I appreciate that. Jeremiah says, I need a Russian bride. Cannot help you with that. Uh, anyway, guys, listen, I really appreciate it. I should probably very quickly, once again, give a quick shout out to my sponsor, which is Energy Pal. If you are shopping for your home's solar system, it's the best place online to shop, review, and compare quotes. They do all the hard work for you, and you get to save, which is true. You'll get the best rates, and once your installation is complete, you'll get an E4 electric viewer exclusive $500 gift card on top of all of that. But you have to use the link in the description of this video. All right, guys, I am looking forward to all of your comments as always, and hope to see you guys back here on Thursday for my interview with Sandy Monroe. That is in person from Los Angeles. We don't do that very often, so it's a treat. All right, guys, looking forward to all of that. I'll see you next time on a Monday, 1 p.m. Pacific, right here. Other than that, see you guys, and remember to stay charged. All right, where's my Chipotle app?